Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. In the previous class, we learned the definition of logic, its aims and objectives, and its subject matter. In today's class, we are going to learn about two fundamental things in logic, Tasawwur and Tasdiq. But before we move on, let's first understand who the first, second, and third teacher of logic were. Aristotle is considered the first teacher of logic. The first teacher of logic, the first teacher, Muallime Awwal. Aristotle is considered the first teacher of logic. Aristotle was a great logician. He lived in the 3rd century before Isa alayhi salam. Alexander the Great was a student of Aristotle, and Aristotle was a student of Plato, and Plato was a student of Socrates. Aristotle codified this science. That's why he is called Muallime Awwal. Muallime Awwal means the first teacher of logic. And Abu Nasr Farabi is called Muallime Sani. He is considered the second teacher of logic, Abu Nasr Farabi. During the Abbasi era, Aristotle's Greek works were translated into Arabic. Later, Abu Nasr Farabi wrote commentaries on them. That's why Abu Nasr Farabi is called Muallime Sani, the second teacher of logic. And Ibn Sina is considered the third teacher of logic. The third teacher, Muallime Sani. When Abu Nasr Farabi's book were destroyed, Ibn Sina reconstructed the field of study. That's why Ibn Sina is called Muallime Salis, the third teacher of logic. Let's move on to what we are going to learn today. First of all, we try to understand what knowledge is. Listen carefully to the definition of knowledge, definition of ilm. The lexical meaning of ilm is to know. To know. This is the lexical meaning of ilm. To know. As we all know, knowledge is the source of disclosure, source of understanding. But what is the definition of knowledge? The author of Mirqat gave 5 definitions of ilm. 5 definitions of ilm. اعلم أن العلم يطلق على معان أحدهما حصول صورة الشيء في العقل. حصول صورة الشيء في العقل. This is the first definition given by author of Mirqat. ثانيها الصورة الحاصلة من الشيء عند العقل. الصورة الحاصلة من الشيء عند العقل. ثالثها الحاضر عند المدرك. رابعها قبول النفس لتلك الصورة. خامسها الإضافة الحاصلة بين العالم والمعلوم. These are 5 definitions given by the author of Mirqat. These are 5 definitions given by the author of Mirqat. The first of those 5 definitions is حصول صورة الشيء في العقل. حصول, the acquisition of a concept or image in the mind. في العقل, in the mind. The acquisition of a concept or image in the mind. This is the first definition of ilm given by the author of Mirqat. The second of those 5 is الصورة الحاصلة من الشيء عند العقل. الصورة الحاصلة من الشيء, the acquired concept or knowledge, the acquired concept or image. The acquired concept or image. The acquisition of a concept or image. The acquisition of a concept or image in the mind. The acquired concept or image. The acquired concept or image that is by the mind. This is the second definition of ilm given by the author of Mirqat. And the third of those 5 is Al-Hazir Indal Mudrik. Al-Hazir, that which is present. Indal Mudrik, that which is present by the one who understood and fathomed. Al-Hazir Indal Mudrik. This is the third definition of ilm given by the author of Mirqat. And the fourth definition of those five is qubulun nafsi litilka surati. Qubul, accepting. Nafs, intellect. The intellect accepting the image or concept. Litilka surati, image, the image or concept. The intellect accepting the image or concept. This is the fourth definition given by the author of Mirqat. And the last definition given by the author of Mirqat, al-izafatul hasilatu bainal alimi wal ma'lum. Al-izafatul hasilatu. Al-izafatul hasilatu. The link or relationship bainal alimi wal ma'lum. Al-izafa, the link or relationship, hasilatu, that exist, bainal alimi wal ma'lum, between known and knower. Known and knower. Al-izafatul hasilatu bainal alimi wal ma'lum. The link or relationship that exists between knower and known. This is the last definition of ilm given by the author of Mirqat. These are five definitions of ilm given by the author of Mirqat. But scholars prefer the third definition, al-haziru inda al-mudrik. Why do the scholars prefer the third definition? Because this definition is also applicable to God's knowledge. None of the other definitions apply to God's knowledge. Then you will say, how and why? Let's understand. Knowledge is divided into two parts. Knowledge, ilm is divided into two parts based on the manner of acquisition. Manner of acquisition. Ilm is divided into two parts. The first one is ilm huzuri. Ilm huzuri. Ilm is divided into two parts based on the manner of acquisition. The first of them is ilm huzuri. Ilm huzuri means presential knowledge. Ilm that is present already. Presential knowledge. Presential knowledge is direct knowledge. Okay? It does not come through concepts, words, mental images. No. The object is directly present to the knower. This is called ilm huzuri, presential knowledge. For example, you know that you are happy or sad or in pain. Nobody needs to tell you that you are happy or sad or in pain. No. You know, this is called ilm huzuri. The knowledge of your own happiness or sadness is called ilm huzuri, presential knowledge. The second of them is ilm husuli. Ilm husuli. Ilm husuli means acquired knowledge. Ilm that is acquired. Acquired knowledge is indirect knowledge. We know something through mental concepts, images. This is called ilm husuli. For example, you know what Mount Everest is because you have read about it or seen pictures of it, not because it is directly present before you. This is called ilm husuli. The knowledge of Mount Everest is ilm husuli, acquired knowledge. And this definition, al-haziru inda al-mudrik, this is the third definition given by the author of Mirqat. And scholars prefer this definition. Why? Why? Let's understand. Al-haziru indal mudrik. This is the third definition of ilm given by the author of Mirqat. Scholars prefer these definitions. Why? Because this definition includes both ilm huzuri, ilm husuli, acquired knowledge and presential knowledge. Our knowledge is acquired knowledge and God's knowledge is presential knowledge, and this definition includes both presential knowledge and acquired knowledge. That's why scholars prefer this definition. Understood? This is the first division of ilm. This is the first division of ilm on the manner of acquisition, based on the manner of acquisition. Understood? And now let's understand the second division of knowledge based on the presence or absence of judgment. Ilm is divided into two parts based on the presence or absence of judgment. The first of them is Tasawwur, and the second of them is Tasdiq. Tasawwur means concept. Tasdiq, affirmation. Concept, and you can say simple apprehension. Concept or simple apprehension. Tasawwur, concept. A concept is just an idea. A concept is just an idea without any judgment. A concept is just an idea without any judgment. Tasdeeq, affirmation. An affirmation is a judgment about that idea. Try to understand. This is the difference between tasawwur and tasdeeq. Tasawwur, just an idea. A concept is just an idea without any judgment. And an affirmation is a judgment about that idea, about the idea. Understood? For example, suppose I say apple. I say apple. Apple. This is concept, simple apprehension. And now I say apple is red. Apple is red. This is tasdeeq. This is affirmation. Because there is a hukam here. I am telling something about apple. I am telling something about apple. This is called tasdeeq. There is a hukam, there is a relationship between red and apple. Link, relationship between red and apple. That's why this is called tasdeeq. Take one more example. When I say bird, I say bird, and I say fly. These are concepts. These are concepts. When I say birds can fly, this is tasdeeq. This is tasdeeq, because I have connected two concepts and made a judgment. Understood? This is tasdeeq. This is affirmation. Listen again. Tasawwur. A concept is just an idea without any judgment. An affirmation is a judgment about the idea. This is the difference between tasawwur and tasdeeq. I hope you understand. We will meet in the next video. Khuda Hafiz. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.